Hello, Master here, and today I want to take a closer look at Battlefield Hardline. I've been playing the beta for a couple weeks now, and I just wanted to go over my thoughts with it, pros and cons. I'm not a Battlefield player. I did play Battlefield 3 for quite a while. I was not really overly excited about it. I played it, but you know, it wasn't my favorite game or anything. Battlefield 4 I played in the beta, and then I wasn't crazy about that one, so I didn't buy the game, mostly because to me it felt a lot like Battlefield 3. And now I've played the Battlefield Hardline Beta, and first off, I'm going to start with the pros, the things I like about the game. First of all, I like how they've kind of changed the plot. I mean, on the grand scheme of things, it's not really that big of a change, but now you're cops versus criminals instead of pretty much every first-person shooter out there is playing as, you know, in a war zone, you're soldiers, and so it just puts a little bit of a twist on the game, makes it more unique. In that sense, I really like that. It adds different kind of vehicles. You get the sedans and the armored trucks, and you get bikes, and so that's kind of fun. You know, jumping on the bike or jumping on the back of a bike and shooting while someone else is driving. So that was a positive thing. I mostly played the Blood Money game mode, and I really liked that game mode. I'm always a fan of the objective-based modes. I find them much more engaging than just a team deathmatch sort of game. But I liked the Blood Money, you know, because you're grabbing money from the center money vault, and you're bringing it back to your vault, and you can steal the money from the other team's vault, and so it made for longer games, more tactical games. And again, that's what I was playing mostly here in the beta. Other than that, as far as Battlefield in general, of course it has the big maps, tall buildings you can get on top of, which makes it unique compared to Call of Duty, where, you know, you've got two-story buildings at most that you can go up in. But with that being said, for these game modes and this one map that they let us play with in the beta, getting up high was not really that advantageous, and neither was having a sniper rifle. The one thing I noticed was no one was sniping. It really didn't do you any good to get up high with a sniper and shoot people, because it was very much a ground-based game. You had to run around and get the money. The biggest thing was the armored trucks, the attack trucks. They were probably the biggest thing used in the game, which pushed people toward using the mechanic loadouts. Because I had started with the operator using assault rifles, but I ended up having to go and be a mechanic because I needed that rocket launcher. Because the attack trucks and the armored trucks are so strong in this game that you have to have that RPG ready to blow them up, or else you're just gonna lose. You're just gonna sit there and mow your team down with the machine guns. So that was one thing. It was kind of a negative for me. I didn't like how I felt like the entire game revolved around watching out for those attack trucks the whole time. And if I would see some people go on a tear with the attack trucks and just get, 30 kills in one death or something stupid like that, and so it didn't really feel balanced to me. Other than that, one thing Battlefield has going for it is I like their spawns. You don't worry about spawning into the line of fire like in Call of Duty, because you can always spawn back at your base and the enemy can't get in there, so that's good. Along with not using the height, I found that helicopters were not really that useful, at least in the beta. Again, it's hard to tell with only having one map and 2 game modes, but really, as for what I was able to play, the helicopters were not very good. My only other negative thing that I have to say, and I just have to say it, I've seen a lot of people say it, is it doesn't feel like a new game. Really, Battlefield Hardline, it looks and feels like Battlefield 4, which looks and feels like Battlefield 3. It's like they've just, changed the name, changed a couple guns in it, and that's about it, They really could be combined into one game and you wouldn't know the difference. And so that's, I think, probably the biggest negative. I know Call of Duty takes a lot of flack for that as well, but I think actually in comparison, Call of Duty changes a lot more from game to game than what I've seen in the Battlefield franchise. And so that's, to me, the biggest negative from this. Well, okay, I have one more gripe, and that is the fact that playing on PC you have to open up your browser in order to find a server and then launch the game from there. I just find that very annoying, very tedious. I'd much rather them, make it so that I can launch the game and then within the game find a lobby, find a server, and play from there. It almost feels like they put the time into making the game itself, and then by the time they got to making the lobby UI, they just kind of gave up and said, well, we'll just make a website you go to and it works there. That's really the way it feels. That's probably actually my biggest gripe about the game. But overall it's not a bad game. I didn't notice, a bunch of bugs or anything, and so that was good. Overall, it's a decent game. I think if you're a fan of the Battlefield franchise, you'd probably like it. For me, it's just not my thing. I really don't like all the vehicles and all that stuff. I prefer, just to hey, I'm basic. I like to run around and shoot people, and I get that from Call of Duty. I don't get that from Battlefield, and so that's why I stick to Call of Duty. But that's just my opinion on it and my personal preference. So that's about all I have to say about the Battlefield Hardline and the beta. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching again, and have a good day, everyone.